right, hello. We are live. Hi. It's nice to see everybody again. Welcome to this week's installment of Let's Code Together. And my name is Lance. I'm a senior software engineering instructor at Flatiron School. And today, what we have in store for you is hopefully, putting the finishing touches on our Summer Olympics app, especially since the closing ceremonies have already happened. So we're lagging a little bit, but nevertheless, we're still in the Summer Olympics kind of mode and theme. And what we've been building is an app that uses React on the front end, built with the Next.js framework. And we're taking advantage of the server-side rendering that Next.js offers. And then for our data, we have created a serverless database in the cloud, which is a Fauna DB database. That's the platform. And data saved on Fauna is also in a document format instead of a SQL format. So any of you who've worked with a NoSQL type database, like Mongo being, of course, the most popular one, would probably feel familiar getting into working with Fauna. The nice thing about Fauna, again, it's serverless. It's in the cloud. It's highly distributed. It's rather than having your own like local Mongo instance or setting up your own server, you can take advantage of Fauna. Plus, they have a very nice freemium plan. So if you're like me, a developer who's just trying things out, learning, building some projects to try out new technology and stuff like that, that's a great way to go. But it's also very scalable. So let's take a look at where we left off last time. Let's see, UI, we have an index page, which is rendering our dashboard. Yes, I think this is one thing we're going to have to change to get our routing right, is move our dashboard and make either copy all of this code into our index so that we get a route to it. Because one problem that we were running into even by having our entry point of our index render dashboard as a child, it wasn't applying all of the styles that we wanted to. So we'll just make sure that this has its own. What were we doing with header? Okay. Let's see, dashboard. Is dashboard rendering the header? Oh yeah, I remember now. we were abstracting we started abstracting components because this again, all of our JSX here, or this component rather, was generated by AI. We used Vercel's new text to code generative AI. Vercel also being the maker of Next.js, right? So it's all very integrated. And we just gave a prompt, said what kind of app we're making, and it gave us a nice dashboard with Tailwind styling already in effect, right? So we started integrating it. But one thing about the way it generated this, if you've played with any generative AI, you've probably seen that, it's pretty darn good about some things, but it's not totally perfect. It's not perfected yet. Sometimes it does some things in a strange way, and we have to know what we're doing and maybe improve on what the AI gives us, or make some changes to integrate it into our app. And that's where we are at here with this component. We also have a thing where we're using a function from Next.js called get server-side props. And this is actually going to handle our query to get the events and put them into our server-side component through the props. So we're going to be able to get all the events that we've saved on our database and use them to render some data for us. So let's see, what changes do we have here? Dashboard JSX. let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and commit whatever change this is. I'm not exactly sure. We could take a look, but we'll go ahead and commit this. So, um, let's see, final dashboard change for week 3. You know, just as long as it's a nice identifying message. And now I want to create a new branch for this week. This is our uh, we are on week 4 of this build. So we're going to I use an alias that I have, but this is short for git checkout branch. And we'll make a new branch called week_04. Just follow the convention that we started. Cool. So now when I push this code up, you'll be able to kind of separate the build week by week by week until we get to our final build at the end of today. This code, by the way, is available. The link to this repo is on our Discord, the Bletchley Institute Discord server. If you look under Learn Software Engineering, on that channel, you will find links to this code up until this point. So let me do a quick check. I'm going to list I want to make sure the file tree looks right and we're in the right place to run our app. So again, if you're not familiar with Next.js, it has its own compiler and server, just like React scripts would. Let me see. And you can see under the package JSON, here are different scripts we can run, and there's a dev script that will run the next dev server. So let's run that now with npm. Oh, let me quickly make sure I'm on the right version. nvm list. Right version of Node for Next, and I'm not, because I usually default to version 16 for reasons having to do with the Flatiron curriculum that I teach. But let's change that so we won't get any warnings or errors when we launch our next server. So we use Node. NVM is Node Version Manager. If you haven't checked it out, you should. It's very nice. Nice way to keep multiple versions of Node and be able to switch between them for various projects. So NVM use 18. I only have one version of 18 installed, so NVM is going to know what to do with that. And now we can go ahead and start up our next app. npm run dev. That's right. Cool. Right. And now we can go take a look on localhost 3000. So what I'd like to do is open a new Brave window. See if I don't have enough. Okay. And we'll open this and go to localhost 3000. Right. The render engine is a little slow because I have a tabitis problem of too many tabs open. Probably somebody out there can relate. Okay, cool. So we're going to go back and forth with this. Let me inspect, right? And we can see what is being generated so far for our next app, right? We can check our console. But if we look at components, right, we'll see some stuff is being rendered, even though it statically comes from the back end first, right? So let's see, we could take a look at, where is our dashboard? Is our dashboard being rendered here? There it is. Dashboard, right? And then it has some other components, has children, right? We can see that head is up here for the header. Cool. So, and this will give us, like, we have some state and things that we can use here. Great. So let's start building from here. How did I overcome this issue? Do we need to? It's looking like all of our styling from Tailwind is getting applied, even though dashboard is here and rendered as a child. Did I import? the CSS here to make it work. And I think use client is making it render on the front end instead of server side. So let's take care of that. Let's see what happens now. If I reload this page. Cool. Looking good, looking good. All right, so we clean that up. Let's see, just in terms of like getting our data into props here. Where's the beginning of the component? This is all, we don't like the sample events being inside this component. And actually we're going to get rid of this in just a second as soon as we can make sure everything's working right. So I'm going to move it up out of the component, right? But if we need it, we still have access to it. Extract search. Oh, I have a to-do here to take out the search filter component. Yep. We eventually will start extracting something. Here we have events or an error that should be coming in through props here. Let me make sure that our env local is looking good. Okay, that looks good. Well, yeah, I think so. Let's see. Hopefully nobody looked too closely and copied that down. And then our fauna.js should be using that process and event secret, right? To be able to query all these events. I'm just following through, right? So we either have just props or we have we have props. We have just events in our props, or we have an events and an error message, right? So that's what we just structured up above. Let's take a look here. Before we return, we have our try and our catch block. Before we return anything, let's console log our events dot data there. We might have to map it a little bit is what we'll want to do, but let's take a look. Get server side props. We might want to change this to get static props if it doesn't look like we're getting this. And we might have to help this along by reloading this page. So we re-requested, it gets recompiled, and we're getting undefined for our console log. Events data, even though it's async and await, getting undefined. I want to check one thing back here and see console log. I want to make sure we're fetching our secret all right and getting our client set up correctly. So what we can do here, it's not great to like console log the secret itself, but we can do a little ternary and we can do process env dot events dot secret question mark. Hello. Right. So we're going to make a ternary expression that can get evaluated here. So, and we'll say, we can say, let's see, I'll make a string fauna db secret loaded. Right. And then we'll have our ternary expression. We'll say, yes, no. Right. So instead of, logging the actual secret, which is not a great idea, we can at least just use a ternary to get some feedback, whether that is there. All right. See, now we're getting some issues with layout and getting that was not even an issue before. Why are we having problems with this Google font suddenly? Let's try re-rendering here. Failed to compile. Next font error. Let's see. Why? I did not change layout. Why is this suddenly a problem? Let's go take a look. Layout.js. Font heading. Well, it's saying the problem is that the weight is not there. Isn't that missing weights? 400, 700, right? So we can give it this, except these need to be strings. Right, so we can give an array of available weights for the font and provide it here. Let's see if that solves our issues here. Get slash events. Huh. We don't have a page for events. Maybe this is, oh, somewhere. I think I have another tab somewhere that is doing a fetch to the wrong route there. I think we took care of it. Let's see if that solves the problem, because looking back here, I was seeing some get slash events. We don't want that. Okay, let's try to reload this now. In the build process, we gave the weights. Let's restart the server here. Sometimes hot loading is not enough. Let's see. It's still saying for space mono is the problem. Next font error. Next font Google. Yeah, let's see. Let's take a look here and say, let's see. We've in previous weeks I was using Codium as my little AI assistant for debugging things, but here's another good one, PHIND. I'm trying to kind of compare them and see how they do. If I right click this, I can say include selection in current find chat. Isn't that nice? And then I can say, I'm getting an error. And I'll copy this. Right, and it's referencing those lines. And you should change weights to weight. That might do it. Let's see if that does it. Doesn't appear, although again, let me quickly reboot the server because this compile process. Okay, that's fine. We took care of whatever this font problem was that crept in here. Let me go back just to our file tree. And we are logging undefined. The question is, where is that logging from? Do I have any console logs in here? Is it this events.data? It could be. But the other, fauna secret loaded, yes, that is good confirmation for us. This is getting called await client query. This all, this looks a little different than what I was expecting. Let's change the, let's make this into a little callback function. Q.get. I'm just, why is this being so ornery? Okay. Where we're going to get an event, I'm just going to call it EV, and then we're going to do Q.get the EV, right? Let's see if this gives us better than undefined. One undefined back, probably from here. We say events, server-side props. That'll just fauna. Well, that's interesting. That is not. That didn't give us this string with our undefined. The secret's loaded, so our client should be good for making queries. We're importing the client and the query object from our fauna setup. But let's where is that other console log coming from? Let's look at where we have console logs. I still have a console log events somewhere. Oh. It's not, so it's coming in, like there's no events getting rendered here. How come it looks like get server-side props isn't even getting called, which is interesting. Okay. Let's try changing it to get static props. Either of these should get called by the next build process for us. So still getting undefined. Try, catch error. Let's just, just to see if this is even getting called, get static props called. Okay. No, it's not getting called. Why would it not be getting called? Let's see what find has to say about that. Let's see. What line is that? Line 198. Line 198 is not logging, indicating that get static props is not called. The log on, what's our other log? Where's that line? Near the top of the component, 91. The log on 91 is undefined. All right, let's make this a little wider. Find has a lot to say about this. Get static props is indeed not being called, especially when dealing with dynamic routes or pages that rely on external data fetching. Incorrect export location. Make sure it's exported correctly from the page file where it's defined. Yeah, see, I think this is our problem. Is this is all in a page file. So index home. Should we make a route just for dashboard and make it a page? Sure, let's do that. Let's move it down here. Move. Right. So now if we want to render it, we'll have to go dashboard. And this is no longer, let's see, should not be getting rendered now, but here we can just say, instead of dashboard, we can just, if this does get rendered, for now, we'll just have an H1 that says Paris 2024 Olympics events. Okay. Just to back us up, but module not found, right? This one is not found, right? Okay. So we're not getting our undefined, but we're not getting anything else either. Dun, 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 dun. With dashboard, we're still just getting that home to render. Why are we not getting a route on our pages to, now that we've moved dashboard, let's, sometimes when you change routes, you need to reboot the server again. Compiling, next static, hot update 404. I'm not sure why the 404. But let's see. If we request on dashboard, default is not, the default export isn't a component on page dashboard, huh? Export, do I not have export default anywhere? This is funny. I know we need to export get static props. Huh. Well, we can handle that. Oh, and now what? Error serializing. Oh, okay. But look, we have data. This is good, right? Right. It's saying it can't serialize ref, right? It's starting to serialize this whole object. But all we really want is the data out of this. So this is easily solved by doing this. Let's see. Go back down to get static props. In here, right? What I'm going to do is do const events data, events.data.map event. Sure. Well, I was going to do it shorthand, but this is, we return out of our callback function for our map. And so now we have events data. So here, what we want to put into props is events data, right? So now it should only be serializing the data part. What is this now? Filtered events. Events.filter, event name to lowercase. All right, but let's see. This is a good problem to have. Let's take a look. Because I'm thinking, where can we see fragment dialog? Let's see. Where is dashboard? Dashboard, I think. Are we still having troubles getting dashboard to render? We could be, because it's just showing the errors. Okay, so it's in this filtered events we're having a problem. Do our events have not a name, they have an event? That's part of the problem, because our AI generated code is going by this kind of an object, but we don't have our properties of our events are a little bit different, right? So we want to look down here instead of here, and we want to start going through our JSX, looking for any references to event. Now this has a key event ID. Ooh, this is a problem because we took away those references, which are kind of the IDs. But keys don't have to be IDs. They can be anything that is unique to that particular event. So we can actually concatenate a couple of fields together. We can do event dot sport plus event dot event. That should be unique. Okay. But I'm really going through looking more for, where was that filter? Oh, filtered events map event. Return this. Where was the issue? Filtered events. Oh, this is mapping. Where's the filter on our filtered events? Here we go. Event dot. So this will come into play when we want to do our searching. So event dot event, maybe search by event, or event dot sport. Both of those will work for us. We just don't have a name. So people will be able to search by the event name or by the sport name. That's pretty good. Okay. A time, a sport. Now we don't have a time. We have a start on when we're sorting these events. So let's use the start time. All right. We do have a date, so we can call date on it. We have start times. Event ID. We might still have a problem. We might, in our map here, we might need this TS. So how can we add that when we do our map down here? Events, that data to map event, return. This is what we're going to do. We're going to return an object that looks like this. It's going to spread. It's going to have event. We're going to say ID is event.ts, right? And then we're going to spread out everything from event.data as the other things. Cool. This should events data, right, give us, if we scroll down here to what's logging lower, yeah, we have these unique IDs. That means our key that we changed up here can go back to being event.id. That'll be nice. Wherever I did that. Header, was it up? So up here, date, I was just seeing that, checking like here, we want to be able to match by IDs later on. So it's nice to have IDs. set sort by filter events map event key. We can go back to event ID here. .id. Cool. Let's see. What are we rendering over right now? Filtered events are coming from the events in the events in props. Cool. Okay. But we have our optional chaining operator. So this all makes sense. Cool. Let's go back and take a look. What happened to our styling? Let's, oh, I know how I fix it. It's not coming through from the layout anymore. So we just have to import our CSS. Where is our global CSS from app? We're in pages. So we'll need to say dot dot slash not utils app slash globals there. Save. Did I recompile? Yes. Hey. Look what we're getting. We're getting a date. We're getting, let's see. And we're getting a lot of events here. Cool. So we're starting to make the component generated by AI for us work with the data that we're now getting from our fauna database. It's very cool. Let's see if we want to view details. So this is just listing this. Do we have, what happens? Is there a thing for view details on here? Let me see. Right. So already we're not using our sample events anymore, which is great. We can take this out. And I should do a commit. Come on. There. Right. Don't need it. Save. Let's do a commit at this point. So we say, let's see, renders cards, right? Because we still have this problem. It's like there's too much JSX in here, right? Some of this needs to be separated out, right? So renders, I'm going to call them cards with fauna data. Yay. Okay. Cool. Now so drop down menu, sort by. Now, filtered events map. Here are the cards we're seeing. We're seeing a watch list button to add to watch list. We're seeing a calendar icon with the date. Oh, this is not rendering because we need to do event.start. Okay, that'll help. Then we see a trophy icon and the sport. And then here's a link that doesn't go anywhere right now to view details. Okay. To get this working, we will probably, we don't have a component for it yet. So we could ask V0 to help us, again, generate quickly a component that matches the style for this. And then we could make a page for event, and then we can make the link to the right place and then route to the right page. Do we want to do all that, or do we want to quickly get our search? Well, let's see. Search might already be working because we have these handle functions. Event.filter. It's using the search term. We have our search field. Extract the search filter component. Right. sort by date, sort by time. Let's see. If sort by date, time, well, we can leave that, okay. Or sort by sport. All right, let's see. So this drop down should work. Our search term on change, set search term. Yeah, I'm thinking a lot of this is going to work. So we're seeing the time, we're seeing the date, the time, and the sport now. So say we want to look up handball. All right, are we seeing only handball? Yay, look at this. Say we want to look up breaking. Oh, we don't have breaking. Why not? Break. I thought I had all the events. Doesn't breakdancing count? So let's see. How about diving? Nice. Cool. So our search is working. Let's try our sort by. Sort by date. It looks like it's already sorted that way. Sort by time. Ceremony didn't have a time, but 8:39:99. Cool. So we can do it that way. And sort by sport. Nice. Cool. Excellent. So we can see the drop down on our search are already working, just as given to us by uh, when it was given to us by, what do I want to say? By, oh, now here's the thing, is given to us by the AI, but I'm thinking, my brain is multitasking. If I want to extract this and then render it here, then if I run it as a child, we can pass down setter function like set search term or set sort by. We can pass those down as props to the child and still update the state here. I think it's not going to mess up our state too much. It really makes sense to do that. I'm looking at the time that we have left. It would also be nice, but since we have those working, to have view details work for us, right? We would need a new component to make that work. Let's see if we can get that working really quickly. v0.dev, and hopefully it'll take me back, yes, to my account, because that means displays, events. Let's see, is this the one that we're using, v1? Yes. So include nav links for layout. We've got that. Oh, well, does watch list take us to the watch list? We have a link for that. That might be an easier thing to do. And we could show more details on the card without implementing this. I think the watch list functionality might be easier to do without, I don't know if we need a whole new view for that. We have watch list here. How, handle, remove, add to watch list. And then we have a button. That's on each event. What about, we don't, that's interesting. We don't have this watch list. We have our sort by here, but I don't think, oh, we have watch list up here. We don't have login, log out. We don't have auth yet, but we do have watch list in the header. Ooh, okay. So let's look at the header. And it's a link. Right now, it doesn't go anywhere, right? So, And this is something I haven't played with next routing very much. So I want to ask, find, say, let's see, what's the proper way to get this link to route to a new view? The link component, right? So link href. Oh, you do use the href. Let's see. href/about. If you're trying to navigate to a new internal page, replace that with the path to internal page. That's all. So we do use href. That is not how we would do it with React Router. That's what was throwing me off. Cool. So my other question though is how to get the watch list. If watch list is here, right? If watch list is on dashboard, but we're going to route to we're going to route away from dashboard to another view. How to because we don't, do we need to can we put it up on the index page? And will it pass down in props? So index isn't rendering though right now, is it? So where to put this state? Header. Well, one thing is, can we render header from here and still have, or would it be in layout? That's maybe what I'm thinking. Children. I'm not sure. Could we do header and then children? Is that a way to do it? Seems not. Let's see. I mean, we could, I think just since we're short on time, one solution is to render the watch list on the dashboard, right? Watch icon, we do that. So, we have one thing here that's this UL, so maybe we'd want to do something similar. Should it be in a different div? This is in here. This is in this. Where does this div go to? Here. All right, but I'm feeling like, look, it's saying watch list component, but we do not have a watch list component, right? The AI is thinking the way I'm thinking, but for now, I'm gonna redo another UL. And move it down into here. We're just gonna borrow from this. And above the UL, we can label this as our watch list. Let's go with that and say watch list. Okay, and then instead of here, we're going to map over watch list from state, right? This is kind of a proof of concept that our watch list button is working. Okay. The only problem is how much we're going to have to scroll to see it. Or move this whole div for the watch list up to the top. That might be what we can do. Move it up above everything else. Move it up above. This UL anyway. Okay. See if that works. Save it. Okay. So we have a watch list, which right now doesn't have anything. We should be able to say that has something in it, right? But if we add something to our watch list, oh, it did. It appeared on our watch list. We just don't have very good. So artistic gymnastics. Let's go down here and add a badminton event. And if we scroll up to the top, we see these now are part of our watch list. And we can then remove them from the watch list just by clicking on them here. Cool. We're getting really close to the end of our time here. But so I think that's probably where we're going to have to wrap up for today. I would want to do a lot more in terms of like extracting these out into their own components, have a watch list component, have a watch list view that we can like have it on its own page that we could go to. Uh, in order to do that, I think this watch list state would have to go somewhere else. And this being a Next.js app, I would need to figure out where that is. I'm not immediately sure in terms of how this all is rendering. Where is the higher place to put it? Since we're not using state management right now. Now we could bring in some state management, or we could start using context to solve that problem for us as well. But all of that's kind of out of the scope of the time that we're having. But it is really fun to see the search is working, the sort is working. We're able to filter everything by the search terms, and that we are able to get a lot of this with the help of AI. So there are some ways that AI can be helpful to us. I I don't think that AI is going to take away our developer jobs anytime soon. However, because there are very few cases where I've seen code generated by AI that just works perfectly right out of the box. When you're dealing with like something as complex as like a whole next JS server side rendered application. So there you definitely need to integrate it. The code suggestions that AI gives us, we have to know what we're doing to be able to like integrate them into a larger architecture. Um, that said, keep working, keep getting familiar. Like we all need to know how to use the AI because our jobs are probably going to drift that way anyway. So um, just be up on that as well. That's what we're trying to do today. We used AI to help us debug things, and we used AI to help generate some of our front end code. So again, I will be pushing all of this, all of what we did today up onto the repo that we've been building. And now you have, although you're done watching the Olympics, but but you see from beginning to end with a similar set of data, you can easily build an app like this. So thanks for joining us on Let's Code Together. Is Michelle back on? No, no. Oh wait, you are. Hi, Michelle.
I'm here with you. Great job, Lance.
Thanks. I don't know if you have a sneak preview or like what is coming next week for people. I'm not going to be joining us next week, so if you're hoping to see my lovely mug, you're going to have to take a break next week.
It's going to be a surprise for right now,
All
but
right.
we'll
Okay.
miss you next week. Enjoy your time on vacation.
Cool. I know I have heard some people have some fun things brewing.
It's
I
happening.
I do have my ear to the ground, and I've talked to a few people that are working on some cool things to bring to you. But I don't want to. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
I don't want to. I don't want to give any
We'll
spoilers.
just we'll
But
just have to wait and see.
yeah, exactly.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and end this stream, and
All
we'll see
right.
y'all next time.
Okay. Bye bye.